Hey, it's Tim,
Hey, David.
and we're Worth It Fridays.
What the nani?
Welcome to another episode of Worth It Fridays. Woo!
Oh yeah.
And we're both wearing white today. Woo!
And I'm assuming it's anime theme, right?
Oh, hell yeah!
Kimi no Nawa?
What a weeb.
Aight, you got me there. You got me there.
A few moments later.
Today we're going to try something different. And so I'm going to let David kind of intro that us for us. So, David, how are we going to do this?
So this special episode, since we're gonna try this something new where it's impossible for us to play the same game because one issue is we just can't, right? It's hard. So what we're gonna do single reviews where only one of us has played the game, and we're gonna do our specific reviews on it. And then I guess we'll see if Tim can convince me to like this game. But in this episode, we're gonna talk about mini motorways, and I'll just explain more to it. So let's get to it. So as Tim is going to explain this review here, I'm going to explain a little bit more of the background of what this game is. So in Mini Motorways, it's the city's traffic problem are in your hands in this game. And it is from the maker from Mini Metro. And Mini Motorways is a game is about drawing the roads that drives a growing city. It builds a road network, one road at a time, to create a bustling metropolis. It is redesigning your city to keep your traffic flowing and carefully managing upgrades to meet the changing demands. So you may be wondering, what does this game offer? Well, the game does offer you the ability to draw roads in dynamic cities that grow and changes. So every level is very unique. It also helps the players to explore stunning maps inspired by cities all around the world. And you can choose from varieties of upgrades to meet the demands of your ever-expanding road network, which is based on highways and roundabouts and many more. You can definitely select different color palettes on every map, including colorblind and night modes. The game also offers players to relax to a responsive soundtrack from disaster piece that grows along within your city. You can definitely unlock new maps and achievement as you achieve masters. And you can definitely export GIFs of your city layout to share with your friends. And lastly, you can definitely compete against other players in your dailies and weekly challenges. So, I wonder if there is a story to this, Tim. Is there a story to this game at all?
I don't think so. Unless you can create your own story of it being some sort of like road architect, but definitely no story. So no rating there.
So there's a possibility that players can be creative with their story. For me, I'll probably be a road rager. Set up all these roads for them to crash. Haha, so evil. Since there is no story, so our reviews won't be based on the story pillar, but we will definitely go more in depth with the gameplay and content. So we'll have our buddy Tim here to explain more about the gameplay specifically now.
So the gameplay starts out simple, which is to pick a starting map. There's going to be tons as you unlock more, but most likely you're going to start off with Los Angeles, which is pretty open. It's pretty nice and flat with some rivers here and there, kind of just to challenge you a little bit. But we'll get more into that. The idea is you get the car, a red car, let's say. A red car goes to the red building. So you want the same colors of a car to go to the same colored building. And it sounds really simple, right? Red car, red to red building. You draw a road from house to building. As simple as that. And then the ultimate goal is to get the highest score. So what's going to happen is more houses and more buildings are going to spawn. And that's where your whole, spaghetti roads will come in, as you need to, get the red car to the red house. But then the yellow car also needs to get to the yellow house or building, and so forth. And there's like 5 colors. So it'll get a bit messy as the game goes on. But starting wise, you just have to know one color to the same color, and you build from there. So I guess it's more like planning and organizing, but it'll always get chaotic, and that's kind of like the fun part, is that where the houses spawn and where the buildings spawn, it'll always be different. But technically, as you get more into the game, you can kind of anticipate and then plan where your roads could be, I guess as supposedly real life what do they call road some road architects, okay, as they you build your highways, you build your housing zones, you build your like business zones, stuff like that. So there's a little bit of that, but like it's very gamified that like not real life definitely doesn't apply to here. So again, the longer the level goes, the more complicated and chaotic things can get. And thankfully is you can always pause the game whenever you need to slowly think and reorganize. So that's like the biggest plus, and that's the thing that makes this game like kind of relaxing, is that you can kind of just whenever things get a little bit too chaotic, you can kind of just pause it and just think about it. Things aren't like burning and crashing as you like try to fix your city. So yeah, it feels amazing to see your little area turn into a huge busy city. Having the ability to pause makes the game again relaxing with its nice soundtrack, as you'll hear, and can move forward whenever you're ready to. The only thing that can be a little annoying is where the buildings and houses that whenever they spawn, they're kind of random. Players can work around this by anticipating like where they spawn and like trying to possibly deny where they spawn, because the game is like in a grid. Technically it's like a really big grid, and as the game goes on, the grid gets bigger. So like an office building, I guess the building itself takes like it's like a 2x3, something like that, like a 2x3, the building and then the parking lot for the cars to enter, right? And then a house is like maybe like a 1x2. So what people are like doing is like they're like trying to like space out like where they want their office buildings and all that stuff. But that's like for the people that played for a long time. And like all you really have to know is like they're gonna spawn randomly once you first play, and you're kind of like can be frustrating because like let's say your one office building is like all the way on the right, but then like your only car that can get like that goes to work there is all the way on the left on the other side of like the map. So it's just kind of like you have to like kind of work your way there, and it's like, dude, why'd you like make your house here? when the place that you have to go to is like on literally the other side of the country.
It's probably it's a game of life, like real life. Probably that side is probably the cheapest place to buy a house. So they probably like, I'm gonna bite the bullet. Do you remember any levels that you were very, very angry?
Very angry. I think it's definitely like it's the first map. I have so many memories because I kept trying so hard, because at first it was like you get your first like 1,000 points and you're like, oh yeah, I did it. And then you look at the high scores and they're like, oh, I've done like 3,000 more. And then you're just like, okay, I gotta keep trying. And then it's like, and it's supposed to be the easiest map because it's the most open map, aside from like one big river somewhere. So it's like theoretically it should be really easy, but the fact that it's so open means that like where they spawn could be even more erratic and chaotic, which just makes things really a lot harder if you're not like super organized.
So you're telling me if I ever wanted to become those architect or engineer, sorry, I don't know the term for it. If you can correct me, just mention it in the comment below. I swear there's a definite term, but for some reason I think it's is it social engineer or civil engineer?
Maybe. I feel like
something. Please help us. Please correct us through the comments below. But do you think if I wanted to have that career, do you think I can use this game as my resume to show my boss that I can do it? Do you think it will work?
I don't know about a resume and putting this in there. I think it's fun if you can like definitely show your like organizational skills in a sense, but like this game just definitely gamifies a lot of the rulings in terms of to different buildings, probably, assuming. Whereas like the people in this game, they only go to like the closest building that relates to them. So I mean, if I'm the yellow car, I'm only going all the way to the yellow building. I'm going to the closest yellow building. So if there's like a red building that's even closer to me, I'm not going there. It's not a yellow building. I'm going to the yellow building that's like that could be across the country if there's only one yellow building. So it kind of like takes away from the real aspect where like I think roads in real life are designed for, to be more easy to use, whereas like this is like I need to get you for like the yellow building, yellow car to the yellow building. So it's a bit there. But so I guess the term segregation where like you want to keep things separate. So like meaning like if you can keep roads like, oh, this is for the yellow cars going in here, this is for the red cars, so you can keep them separate and not intertwined, which you will kind of eventually have to, but like the more you do, the more you segregate, the better it is in this game. So
Oh, let's see. Okay, cool. So far, it sounds simple, but can be super chaotic. Can you tell us more about like the content? So you mentioned like buildings, house, colors, and such, but what else is there in this game that offers?
yeah, there's plenty of maps, which is really cool because they all are designed in a way to challenge something new and something specific as well. So LA being the first map, it's very open and flat, and then after everything, they kind of introduce like, you know, there's more ponds, more lakes, where you have to like kind of like build bridges to cross them over, or eventually you go into some of the like Tokyo or something where like they could have more, or like somewhere in like Spain, catch me if I'm wrong, where there's like more mountains and stuff. So you have to use either tunnels because you can't, you know, build a road like on the mountain itself. So those are kind of like the unavoidable obstacles that kind of come up as you play further into the maps. So it kind of like gets harder in that sense as you kind of have to organize and like kind of get resources. So like how the also game goes is every week in the game, it's very quick. You get to pick between kind of like two resources. So you get like it can be a range of things, getting like more roads. So you have a finite amount of roads, and you can either pick something crazy, as in like something that will help you mechanically different. So like getting a bridge so you can cross rivers, or like getting tunnels so you can make tunnels that go through the mountains and stuff like that, and so forth. And roundabouts and stuff like that. Roundabouts being like, you know, like what people would say is like way better than having a street light, right? So you know, those are all kind of like new mechanics that introduce to kind of like, hopefully, ideally, reduce traffic in a sense. So it doesn't sound like much, kind of, but like when you're trying to plan out like where to connect your roads, you're only given a limited amount of resources since you don't have, you know, finite roads. So once you feel like you have like a good handle on all the different maps, you can then challenge yourself to their handcrafted challenges made for each map. So there's about 3 for each, where they'll give you like it could be like you get infinite roads, but there's like you only get 1 bridge or something like that. And so like each of those challenges are very specific. And then like as you said before, they have dailies and weeklies where everyone can kind of play on the same map. There's one for daily, so that's kind of cool. You get a daily score and stuff like that, and achievements to follow. And then you have a weekly one where you have constant tries to like kind of get your high score as for the week, which is pretty cool if you want to be more competitive.
Well, talking about like the content and stuff, I'm just curious, for content wise, is there like is it a pay to win vibe, or is there cosmetics you can purchase in this game? Like, does that include in the content of the game?
So there's no like cosmetics or anything, and there's no extra like paid stuff. So all the content that you will once you buy it, it is a buy to play game. It is all there, and they are still. I think they're still possibly updating the game still. They recently made an update which added the specific challenges for each map, which is kind of cool. And then of course you have your dailies and weeklies if you still want to be like kind of like competitive in a sense, or like want to try something different.
Okay, so it's kind of like breaking rights. It's what you get from daily
Yeah.
and weeklies. Gotcha. Okay. And then what would you say about the graphics and the aesthetics of the game? It looks really simple to me, but what do you think?
Yeah, the graphics are absolutely simple and like very minimal, which I think because the game can get so chaotic, I think I actually appreciate that a little bit more. And the fact that they have like different color palettes to cater for the colorblind, and even like night mode for people that just hate staring at like a white screen. It just makes it a lot easier in the eyes, and the fact that they have all those kind of palettes and visuals kind of just really help display. It makes the game nice to look at, and just it makes the vibe just more relaxing. Yeah, so everything is conveyed like perfectly, from the houses to the cars, traveling to the destination, and it's actually like nice that it's like minimal, because yeah, again, once you see the city filling up, it's like at least you want to know where all your blue houses are and like where all your blue businesses are, And it's nice to see like everything is conveyed, even though it's all chaotic, everything is conveyed clearly. And then again, going back to the whole pausing thing, it's you can pause at it, take a look at it, or essentially, you know, once your city's done or once you lose, you can explore the GIF, which is like nice to look at as well.
And then just curiosity, what's the cost of this game at this time of this recording?
All right, so at this recording, this game it's a small puzzle game that on Steam it's about $12 Canadian, and apparently it's also accessible through the Apple Arcade. So that's about $6 a month if you're like invested. So I'd say it's worth it because it can be a relaxing game. If you like puzzles, if you're interested in puzzles and want something to kind of like play, but like also be like kind of challenge you, but also be relaxing enough that you can kind of enjoy at your own pace.
And any criticism? I know you mentioned some, but any others?
Yeah, I think going back again. So the main thing is like once you kind of like, at least when you're first starting off and you don't really know how to adapt, or you're looking for tips and stuff like that, the spawns, the buildings and houses can kind of just screw you over, and those can kind of be those things that kind of give you the game over, and you're kind of like that's like the one frustrating thing maybe, but like that's not like the be all end all kind of thing. It's kind of like it can happen because RNG, and that kind of makes the game different every time you play it too. So it has its like ups and downs there. And I think again the other criticism is like this is probably the most like gamey city you're going to build. You know, there's always like Sim City and City Skylines where like those are like, you know, the simulation cities that you need to worry about all that. But this is literally just house, roads, buildings, connect, done. And again, cars will only like mechanically, cars will only go to like the one building they need to go to. So they never, that's not how real life works, or at least that's what I'm aware of, you know, unless things have changed in 2022.
Yeah. This is the time where Google or Apple Maps can't help you out here if you're in the game. Alrighty. Sorry, just to clarify, is this game only on PC or is it on mobile or?
So it's on Steam and it's on Apple only at the moment.
Steam and Apple only. Okay.
So you can't play it on mobile, but only if you have an iPhone. Unfortunately, it's not an Android.
Ooh, iPhone. Alrighty. Can you give us your solid rating on this game, Tim, and explain why you chose that rating?
Yeah, sure. So again, Mini Motorways, a game that is really simple, minimalistic design, with an ultimate goal that is set, that is to get you the highest score you can by getting the cars to the buildings before a building gets too many orders and no cars unable to make it in time, with many contents and different mechanics added to make the game different and challenging. I give Mini Motorways a 9 out of 10. Really good.
9 out of 10. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid for a simple graphic game.
Yeah, I find this game is like something like you can kind of like go home to and just kind of play. Looking at my Steam like play thing, it's just I put in like 56 hours or something like that, and it's like wow, I can't believe like for a simple puzzle game like this, it's kind of taken some good time to have some fun with at least. So yeah, really good game. I really recommend it.
Now you're probably the question of the episode is, did Tim convince me to buy this game? Well, the question to that is maybe, just because I'm more of a adventure story mode game where this game doesn't offer a story, so it's kind of like a little bit of a deal breaker. But at the same time, like I can see myself if this was on mobile, like on Apple Arcade, then which it is, I can definitely see myself if I'm waiting at the doctor's office or waiting for something, and definitely this game will definitely pop up. But currently it's just Pokemon Unite offline mode. But that being said, that's just me. I don't represent everyone else. That's just me personally. I won't get this game, but I know for those other or similar to Tim, as you can see, he's over here. Similar to Tim, he definitely likes it. He gives it a solid 9 out of 10. I trust this guy with my life. If he means 9 out of 10, he means 9 out of 10. So yeah, so that goes for our episode today. Hopefully you enjoyed this kind of new segment where it's going to be one of us doing our reviews, and I guess we'll just play this mini game where we see if we can convince each other to get the game or not. So yeah, but hopefully we can convince you maybe get the game, or maybe there's another deal breaker thing that you didn't like and you're like, oh heck no, I won't buy this game. Let us know in the comments below. And other than that, we hope you enjoy this episode of Mini Motorways. And then we're gonna have many more episodes where it's gonna be either my own solo review where I try to get Tim here into the game I'm playing, or convince you guys. But we'll do a solo game, just to have more content for you guys to enjoy during the pandemic here. So if you like this video, please definitely give us a like. And if you can definitely subscribe to us, that'll definitely support our channel here. So that way we know we're doing something entertaining or good quality service for you guys here, as we want to inform and just start a discussion about games in general, and maybe start a community just talking about how we can improve the gaming industry. And other than that, you can click that notification bell if you want to be one of the first people to know when we upload our videos. Our videos are going to be up whenever we are ready, of course, but we're going to take our time because we want the best quality content for you to be aware of and entertain you during the time you're watching. So I really appreciate you guys following us and helping us hitting 100 subscriber and up. So thank you again. And until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.
See ya.